Chapter 1891. Luo Qingtong narrowed her eyes. She remembered that when she saw Han Dong and the others controlling these demon beasts, they were also in the same state. There seemed to be something wrong? Luo Qingtong contracted Little Pig and Snowball, and also helped Suyu contract Thunder Beast. Their contracted beasts were completely different from the contracted beasts of beast-taming King Valley. He couldn't tell before. But this will, Luo Qingtong frowned. With so many demonic beasts gathered together, she could tell that something was wrong. These demonic beasts seemed to have lost their minds. Was it because they were contracted by the beast-taming King's Valley? Luo Qingtong thought. The bloody light in her eyes flickered as she observed the bodies of these demonic beasts. Suddenly, she realized that there was a strange power swirling inside the bodies of these demon beasts. This mass of energy extended out from the bodies of these demonic beasts. Previously, when these demonic beasts were not attacking, this power could not be seen. Now that they were in attack mode, this power was immediately revealed. The invisible chains extended from those forces all the way to some unknown place in the void. Was this the reason why the beast tamers of the Beast Tamer King's Valley were able to control these demonic beasts? Luo Qingtong's eyes flashed, and she appeared in front of a demonic beast in a flash. She raised her hand and sent a stream of energy into the demonic beast's body, completely enveloping the energy that appeared. She did not cut off the connection between this energy and the void. If he were to sever the connection, the beast tamer that the demonic beast belonged to would be able to sense it. By then he would be in deep trouble. Before achieving her goal of entering beast-taming King's Valley, Luo Qingtong didn't want to act rashly and alert the enemy. Boom. After she wrapped up the ball of energy, the demonic beast's eyes suddenly flashed and became clear again. Roar. It raised its head to the sky and let out a long howl. It looked around in a daze and then became angry. Sure enough, it was like that. Seeing the changes in the demon beast's eyes, Luo Qingtong's eyes flashed. The contract with the beast-taming King Valley actually caused these demonic beasts to lose their minds? Could it be because of this that they were able to control the demonic beasts? Luo Qingtong was lost in her thoughts when suddenly, an intermittent voice sounded in her mind. You can help us recover our sanity? Luo Qingtong raised her eyebrows and looked around. At this moment, a sharp howl was heard. Then, a huge figure rose from the sky in the distance and swept over here. Boom. It was a huge golden-winged condor. The feathers on his body lit up like sharp golden arrows. It was as if any one of his feathers could cut open the sky. Holy Venerable Realm. A peak holy venerable demonic beast. Luo Qingtong raised her eyebrows as she looked at the huge eagle that was flying towards her from afar. These Saint Venerables seemed to have the power to resist the beast-taming King Valley's control. She looked at the golden-winged condor's eyes, which were constantly entangled and changing between countless bloody and violent lights. Boom boom boom. One after another, holy venerable realm auras came out from the depths of the garden. Then the demonic beasts rushed out from within. Chapter 1892. Looking at their figures flying over, Luo Qingtong realized that these holy venerables' demonic beasts did not participate in the raging and fighting of the demonic beasts below. Did they all retain a trace of intelligence in their eyes? Boom. The golden-winged eagle landed in front of Luo Qingtong and retracted its feathers. The demons behind it also landed in front of Luo Qingtong and surrounded her. Seeing this scene, Yi Qianming, who was in Luo Qingtong's arms, had a glint in his eyes and a vicious aura surged out. The demonic beast's aura surged out violently and wreaked havoc in the surroundings. Luo Qingtong could not help but take 2 steps back. These holy venerables' demonic beasts were simply too powerful. With so many of them gathered together, Luo Qingtong felt that it was hard to breathe. If not for the suppressive aura of the 9-story exquisite pagoda surrounding her, the demonic beast's aura would have been enough to knock her down. She frowned at these demonic beasts. Suddenly, sensing the aura in her arms, Luo Qingtong lowered her eyes and saw Yi Qianming's cold expression. Raising her brows, Luo Qingtong stretched her hand forward. The aura in Yi Qianxian's body condensed. In an instant, a faintly discernible figure condensed behind the silver fox. He was about to return to his human form. Boom. After a flash of silver light, Luo Qingtong was firmly held in Yi Qianming's arms. The man casually draped a robe over his body. His aura was lazy and cold, domineering and tyrannical. Get lost. As he shouted coldly, Yi Zichen shouted. The holy venerables' demonic beasts surrounding Luo Qingtong were all forced back by the sound wave attack. The tyrannical pressure that enveloped Luo Qingtong disappeared in an instant. Yi Qianming's eyes were cold. His aura rumbled and suppressed these demonic beasts. This time the demonic beasts retreated a few more steps. Just like how Luo Qingtong was oppressed by their aura before. Sir. The voice that had previously sounded in Luo Qingtong's mind rang out again. We have no ill intentions. Forgive us for our earlier recklessness. When the voice rang in Luo Qingtong and Yi Qianming's minds, the golden-winged eagle took a step forward and lowered its head slightly to express its apology. When the golden-winged great eagle saw Yi Qianming, an extremely surprised look flashed across its eyes. At this moment, it was under immense pressure from Yi Qianming to apologize to Luo Qingtong. Previously, they hadn't expected that the aura around them would be so strong that it would oppress Luo Qingtong. After all, the weakest demonic beast here was at the Saint Emperor realm. When it saw Luo Qingtong restore the consciousness of the previous monstrous beast, it thought that her strength should be similar to theirs. It didn't expect that the other party was just a little girl at the Saint Lord realm. Luo Qingtong's expression was indifferent. She didn't stop Yi Qianming because of the golden-winged great eagle's words. This man was venting his anger for her. She wouldn't interfere. And who knew if the golden-winged great eagle was telling the truth? If Yi Qianming hadn't come out, it was unknown if the other party would have apologized. Boom. After a few breaths, Yi Qianming retracted his aura. And the group of holy venerables demonic beasts were all pushed 100 meters away by him. Just stand there and talk. Yi Qianming's eyes were cold. Chapter 1893. Yes. The golden-winged condor and the rest of the monsters nodded. Yi Qianming's strength was fully displayed in the aura just now. He could completely crush them. They had no choice but to treat him with respect. Yi Qianming glanced at them coldly and didn't say anything. His figure disappeared in midair again and turned into the silver fox, jumping into Luo Qingtong's arms. The people from beast-taming King Valley could come at any time, so his original form was inconvenient. Yi Qianming was half lying in Luo Qingtong's arms, looking very cute. But after seeing how powerful the other party was, the group of Saint Venerable monsters didn't dare to underestimate her. Even towards Luo Qingtong they were respectful. Honorable one. The golden-winged condor looked at Luo Qingtong and nodded. Seeing that it was struggling to speak, Luo Qingtong directly said to it, "Release your defense." As she spoke, she released her aura. The golden-winged condor saw the aura released by Luo Qingtong and its eyes flashed. It immediately released its defense. The light entered its body and wrapped the aura of the beast-taming art in its body. In an instant, the golden-winged condor's eyes became clear. It looked at Luo Qingtong with surprise. "Thank you, Honorable One. I didn't expect you to be able to help us regain our consciousness." After the golden-winged condor, the group of Saint Venerable monsters were also very excited. They were controlled by beast-taming King Valley and their consciousness had always been muddled. But ever since they advanced to Saint Venerable realm, they didn't want to be controlled anymore. Their figures surged, wanting to rush towards Luo Qingtong. But when they saw the silver fox in Luo Qingtong's arms, their surging aura and figures stopped again. They hesitated and didn't dare to move forward. They looked at Luo Qingtong with eager eyes, giving her a lot of pressure. "I didn't break the connection of the contract. I just temporarily blocked the influence of the contract on you. When my power is exhausted, you will still be controlled by the contract," she said to the group of monsters. When the latter and the others heard this, they were instantly disappointed. "Can you help us get rid of the contract?" the golden-winged condor said in a deep voice. No. Luo Qingtong shook her head. Her strength was still not enough. Even if she used the heaven and earth contract, it would be impossible for her to contract so many demonic beasts. The only possibility was the 9-layered exquisite pagoda. However, if being in the 9-story exquisite pagoda was enough to cut off the contract, and it would be restored after coming out, then what was the point? Luo Qingtong's words caused all the demonic beasts present to be stunned. "Forget it." The golden-winged condor smiled bitterly. "Anyway, it's been so many years. It's good enough that I can get a moment of clarity." Its words caused all the demonic beasts present to feel a burst of sorrow. After the golden-winged condor finished speaking, it immediately looked at Luo Qingtong and asked, "Why have you appeared in this beast garden? Ordinary disciples aren't willing to come here, but when the high-level disciples come, the unlucky ones are all killed by us. Did you offend someone to be brought here?" "Yes. I crippled Fang Jingyu's spiritual power." Luo Qingtong's expression was indifferent. To be precise, he crippled it. As she spoke, she raised her hand and pointed at Yi Qianming in her arms. Hearing this, the golden-winged condor was stunned and then laughed. It's also possible that the golden-winged great roc and the others didn't notice it back then. After all, their minds had been controlled at that time, and during the battle they had lost their minds the most. She thought for a moment before asking, "Do you know where the beast-taming King Valley has a book that records all the major events and secrets over the years?" "I know." The golden-winged condor nodded. It was the contracted beast of the beast-tamer King Guguju, and that book was kept and safeguarded by the beast-tamer King Guguju. "Really?" Luo Qingtong looked at it in surprise. She didn't expect that Fang Jingyu would help her this time. This golden-winged condor knew the location of the book, so she didn't have to slowly inquire about it. It saved her a lot of trouble. To be honest, she was also very tired of Fang Jingyu and the group of people in the beast-taming King's Valley. Chapter 1895. "Senior, please tell me." Luo Qingtong says. "Okay, that's no problem." The golden-winged eagle nods. Everyone who has a grudge against the beast-taming King Valley is their friend. Not to mention that Luo Qingtong can also restore their consciousness. Although it's only temporary, it's already very good for them who have been muddle-headed for a lifetime. It then told him the location of the booklet. The booklet is in the Hidden Scriptures Pavilion in the back of the beast-taming King Valley. It's in a secret compartment on the 13th floor on the top floor. The golden-winged eagle tells the specific location of the booklet and how to hide it. When you get there, you must not open the secret compartment first but knock on the side. This way, the Hidden Scriptures Pavilion's reaction to the booklet will completely disappear. Otherwise, once you open the booklet, even if you don't take it out, Fang Cheng and the others will be able to sense it. At that time you will be discovered. It carefully warns Luo Qingtong. This involves a very small trick. Without a mechanism, ordinary people won't be able to discover it. The golden-winged eagle knows this because it's with the beast-taming King Guguju. If it's someone else, even if they find the booklet, they will be discovered before they can open it. And there's a very small restriction on the booklet. If you don't follow the fixed procedure, then the booklet will automatically burn the moment it's taken out or opened. At that time, the person who stole the booklet won't be able to get anything, let alone peek at the secrets inside. Okay. Thank you, Senior. Luo Qingtong smiles and thanks. Fang Jingyu has helped her a lot this time. In order to repay her, Luo Qingtong feels that she should also give her a good surprise. As for these demon beasts, Senior, don't worry. I heard that the booklet also records a lot of secrets of the beast-taming King Valley, including the beast-taming arts. I will seriously study it. If I find something, I will definitely help you break the contract. Luo Qingtong says to the golden-winged eagle. Good. Thank you, Your Excellency. The golden-winged condor said to Luo Qingtong happily. If someone else had told it that, it definitely wouldn't have believed them. However, Luo Qingtong had temporarily restored their consciousness before. It trusted Luo Qingtong's words very much. As the man and beast spoke up to this point, there was suddenly a commotion outside the beast garden. It's Fang Cheng and the others. The golden-winged condor sensed for a moment, then said with a cold face. Luo Qingtong raised her eyebrows. Beast-tamer King Guguju and the others are here? Fang Jingyu should be here too, right? Luo Qingtong knew that beast-tamer King Guguju and the others were reluctant to let her die. At the very least, he wouldn't be willing to do so before he obtained the so-called beast-taming incantation. Chapter 1896. Wait. When the golden-winged eagle thought of this, its eyes suddenly lit up. Didn't Luo Qingtong temporarily shield them from the restrictions of the contract? Could it be? Sure enough, just as it was thinking, Luo Qingtong smiled and spoke. Senior, have you forgotten that I can shield you from the effects of the contract? If you do this, Luo Qingtong whispered her plan into the golden-winged eagle's ear. The latter flapped its wings excitedly. Good, good, good. We'll do as you say. But, won't this implicate you? It looked at Luo Qingtong and asked. It's fine. This is what I need you to do. It won't implicate you. And, it'll be a great help to me. Luo Qingtong looked at it and smiled. Good, good, good. Since Luo Qingtong said so, the golden-winged eagle naturally wouldn't say anything else. Thinking of what would happen next, it rubbed its fists and palms. Then let's quickly start now. It couldn't wait to say. The beast-tamer King Guguju and the others were outside. If they missed this opportunity, there might not be a second one. Okay. Luo Qingtong smiled. She waved her hands and waves of energy shot out, entering the bodies of the group of holy venerables in front of her. The beasts already knew what to do next from the golden-winged eagle's explanation in beast language. The beasts were all very excited. This was something they had dreamed of doing. They let go of their defenses, allowing Luo Qingtong's energy to enter their bodies. However, in an instant, the effects of the contract in their bodies were blocked by Luo Qingtong. The group of Saint Venerable Realm demonic beasts had completely regained their consciousness. The young girl smiled and said, "Then everyone get ready." The show was about to start. Swoosh. In the sky, the beast tamer King Guguju and the others quickly flew across the sky. Fang Jingyu followed behind them, her face full of reluctance. The beast tamer King Guguju and the others came too quickly. In Fang Jingyu's opinion, it would be better if he came later. It would be best if Luo Qingtong was already dead by the time they arrived. However, if they went over now, Luo Qingtong would most likely die. After all, she had secretly ordered people to remove the fences around the Holy Venerate Realm demonic beasts. At that time he would just say that it was a mistake. Fang Jingyu sneered. She wasn't so stupid as to leave a scourge like Luo Qingtong alive. What if the other party grew stronger and couldn't be eliminated? Her spiritual power had already been crippled. No matter how powerful the beast-taming art was, what did it have to do with her? On the contrary, Luo Qingtong's death was in her best interest. Without the other party, he wouldn't have to worry about being oppressed by his enemy in the future and having to look at the other party's face every day. Thinking of this, Fang Jingyu's face was full of pride as she entered the beast garden with beast tamer King Guguju and the others. The beast garden's defensive barrier had already been activated. Beast tamer King Guguju and the others quickly rushed to the top-grade garden. As soon as they entered, they were shocked by the scene inside. Luo Qingtong was surrounded by a group of demonic beasts. Among them there were many holy venerables. But the strange thing was, these demonic beasts didn't hurt her. They only looked at her with dazed expressions. The blood-red light in their eyes was still fierce, but they didn't rush forward to bite Luo Qingtong. It was as if they were being controlled by something. The beast tamer King Valley's higher-ups were shocked. Chapter 1897. There was nothing wrong with the contract, but these demonic beasts strangely didn't attack. Everyone was a little confused. Their contracts weren't forcibly taken away, so why did Luo Qingtong seem to be able to control their contract beasts? Hundreds of thoughts ran through their minds. But the beast tamer King Guguju and Grand Elder were pleasantly surprised. They looked at each other. Luo Qingtong's beast tamer art was probably more powerful than they imagined. Among these demonic beasts, their own demonic beasts were among them. Luo Qingtong could even control their contract beasts from a distance, which showed how powerful her beast tamer art was. While everyone was pleasantly surprised and bewildered, Fang Jingyu, who had just arrived, suddenly opened her eyes wide. She thought that even if she couldn't see the scene of Luo Qingtong dying without a burial ground, she should at least see her miserable and painful appearance. But she didn't expect to see Luo Qingtong unscathed. She suddenly opened her eyes wide and almost instantly she screamed. How is this possible? And when Fang Jingyu's voice sounded, the stalemate between Luo Qingtong and those demonic beasts seemed to have been broken by her scream. Valley Master. Turning around and seeing the figures of the beast tamer King Guguju and the others, Luo Qingtong only had time to call out this one sentence, and then fell down with a pale face. Night-eye. The beast tamer King Guguju and the others hurriedly flew over to catch her, and at the same time used their contracts to control the contract beasts that were about to attack. None of them noticed it. The group of contract beasts behind them all had their eyes flickering, and surrounded them with incomparable coldness. Their encirclement firmly trapped the beast tamer King Guguju and the others. And the beast tamer King Guguju and the others were anxiously treating Luo Qingtong. It's just that her spiritual power was exhausted and she fainted. An elder of the beast taming King Valley said, Valley Master, did you see that? Luo Qingtong can actually control our contract beasts. The elder from the beast taming King Valley said excitedly. Her beast tamer art must be very advanced. And she must have just had a breakthrough. Valley Master, we can't miss this opportunity. Of course. Let's take her first. Let's go back together. However, the beast tamer King Guguju just say that, roar. Behind them violent beasts roar. Then, the group of holy exalted monstrous beasts soared into the sky and charged toward them. Oh no. Everyone zzzzzzzzzzzzz. But their minds zzzzzzz, no matter how hard they tried s and s's SSD charge. It either of the TTT. They're still under Nitai's control. He didn't know that the Paragon Realm demonic beasts were acting like this because Luo Qingtong had temporarily shielded them from the effects of the contract. He thought that Luo Qingtong's potential had erupted at the critical moment of life and death and had controlled them. Now that she had fainted, these demonic beasts had lost control. Of course, it was also possible that her previous control had cancelled out their contractual control over these demonic beasts. In short, these contract beasts no longer listened to them. If she did this, she must have been prepared in advance, but she didn't expect this unforeseen event to happen and accidentally made a mistake while escaping. Could it be that when she left earlier she wanted to lock them behind to block the arrows for her and made a mistake? Either way, she touched the protective barrier, protection. And everyone was so angry that their lungs were about to explode. If she hadn't set up this trap to deal with Night Eye, she wouldn't have been able to do so. They would not have been trapped here, and they would not have been surrounded by their own contracted beasts. The only thing she did was to let them discover the power of Luo Qingtong's beast tamer art. When we return, I will request that Fang Jingyu be stripped of all her status and privileges in Beast Tamer King Valley. Chapter 1899. His voice was so loud it sounded like it was about to crack. Seconded. A series of voices rang out. In an instant, Fang Jingyu's face turned ashen. At this moment, a group of demonic beasts that had retreated because of the paragon-level demonic beasts pounced on her. A shrill scream rang out. The beast tamer King Guguju and the others could barely take care of themselves, so they had no time to help her. What they faced now was a group of paragon-level demonic beasts that were pouncing on them again. By the time the beast tamer King Guguju and the others had taken control of the group of paragon-level demonic beasts, they were all injured. 2 elders were seriously injured and almost lost their lives. The beast tamer King Guguju was furious. However, he could not blame anyone, because it was he who allowed Fang Jingyu to attack Luo Qingtong, which caused this to happen. Fortunately, Luo Qingtong displayed a unique talent during this process, which offset his mistake this time. Otherwise, the injured higher-ups of the Beast Tamer King Valley would have exploded. Fang Jingyu was even more miserable. She was lucky enough to survive the attack of a group of demonic beasts, but her face was already disfigured and half-crippled. All her status and privileges in the Beast Tamer King Valley had been revoked. The only reason she was not expelled from the Beast Tamer King Valley was because she was the daughter of the Valley Master. Even so, Fang Jingyu's days in the Beast Tamer King Valley were no different from being expelled. She acted willfully against Luo Qingtong and almost killed the higher-ups of the Beast Tamer King Valley. Under such circumstances, even the Beast Tamer King Guguju was bitterly disappointed in her. Because the Paragon-level demonic beasts were secretly released by Fang Jingyu. Because of this, he was almost impeached. Fortunately, the 2 elders who were seriously injured did not die. Otherwise, he would be the first Valley Master in the history of the Beast Tamer King Valley to be impeached. He would never be able to raise his head again in this lifetime. Not to mention, Fang Jingyu almost killed him. The Beast Tamer King Guguju also ignored her. It could be said that Fang Jingyu had no one to rely on. The only person who didn't suffer any losses was Luo Qingtong. The girl's talent exploded in the Beast Garden. Although this incident could be considered to be caused by her. However, she was also a victim who was framed. Moreover, after her cultivation technique erupted, it was coveted by everyone. How could the upper echelons of the Beast Taming King Valley blame her? He couldn't wait to take care of her like a treasure. Fang Jingyu's previous worry that Luo Qingtong would replace her position had come true. However, she probably didn't expect that this was all her doing. Chapter 1900. Luo Qingtong narrowed her eyes. At this time, the voices of Beast Tamer King Guguju and the others sounded from outside. "Little Tong, are you feeling better?" Beast Tamer King Guguju and the Grand Elders behind him stepped into Luo Qingtong's courtyard. Hearing Beast Tamer King Guguju say "Little Tong," Luo Qingtong felt a chill in her heart. The corners of her lips twitched violently. Ever since her so-called talent was exposed in the Beast Garden, Beast Tamer King Guguju and the others tried to get closer to her whenever they had time. Luo Qingtong couldn't be bothered to ridicule them. In any case, this was exactly what she needed. If it wasn't for this, she wouldn't have been able to find out about the scripture pavilion. But now it was time to think about how to get in. Luo Qingtong's fingers tapped lightly as she pondered. On the surface, she smiled at Beast Tamer King Guguju and the others. "Valley Master, Grand Elders?" she called them one by one. Luo Qingtong's mouth was sweet, and she was playing the role of an innocent and cute girl. It was simply too easy for her to curry favor with the higher-ups of Beast Tamer King Valley. At this time, the higher-ups of Beast Tamer King Valley practically treated her as one of their own. Everyone smiled in response. Soon after, Beast Tamer King Guguju looked at Luo Qingtong and said, "How is it? After resting for so many days, are you feeling better? Can you remember some of the things that happened in the Beast Garden?" Ever since Luo Qingtong was able to control their contracted beasts in the Beast Garden, Beast Tamer King Guguju and the others would come to ask about it almost every day. They wanted Luo Qingtong to recall how she used the beast taming art at that time. However, Luo Qingtong's talent and whatnot were all made up. She only knew one beast taming art, and that was the heaven and earth contract that was specially used for divine beasts. Even if he taught it to Beast Tamer King Guguju and the others, they wouldn't be able to use it. How could Luo Qingtong tell them the truth? Naturally, he would say, "I don't have any memory of it. I can't recall it yet." Luo Qingtong didn't intend to delay for long. Once she got the book, there would be no problem. However, entering the scripture depository was a problem. Luo Qingtong's eyes turned slightly. Soon she had a good idea. She would let the Beast Tamer King Guguju and the others bring her into the scripture pavilion. "I have some ideas now." Luo Qingtong nodded. The upper echelons of the Beast Taming King's Valley were already prepared to return empty-handed. After all, it had been like this the previous few times. Therefore, when Luo Qingtong said that, the Beast Tamer King Guguju subconsciously said, "It's okay next time." What? He looked at Luo Qingtong in surprise. He couldn't believe his ears. "Little Tong, you have an idea? You have an impression?" "Yes." Luo Qingtong chuckled. Her smile was innocent and romantic. "When I was dreaming last night, I suddenly thought of something." Luo Qingtong casually found a reason. But only one thing. As she spoke, she directly operated the qi circulation in her body. Luo Qingtong's qi circulation was naturally based on the beast taming art practiced by the Beast Tamer King Guguju and the others. Luo Qingtong's eye technique could see through the qi circulation in their bodies. Previously, she had obtained Han Dong's secret cultivation book. So, it was easy for her to find the common point of their qi circulation. Luo Qingtong was letting her qi circulate according to the common point. She deliberately revealed her aura. Chapter 1901. This aura circulation. It was very similar to what they were cultivating. Could it be that the beast-taming spell that Luo Qingtong cultivated came from the same source as the one that they cultivated? The group of beast-taming King Valley's higher-ups were even more pleasantly surprised as they thought about it. If that was the case, that would be great. Just when they were unable to contain their joy, the aura that Luo Qingtong was displaying suddenly stopped. "That's it?" Luo Qingtong's expression was bashful. "I can't remember what happened next." As she said this, beast-taming King Guguju immediately got up and said, "Look at the aura circulation that I'm cultivating and see if there are any hints." If Luo Qingtong was cultivating the same cultivation method as them, then she would definitely have a sense of familiarity. As beast-taming King Guguju spoke, he immediately displayed his aura circulation. Of course, he displayed it more obscurely. One could roughly see the circulation route. But the specific circulation route of the cultivation method, those who didn't cultivate the same cultivation method as him wouldn't know and wouldn't be able to see it. However, when he was halfway through, Luo Qingtong suddenly called out to him and pointed in the direction of his next circulation route. "I have a bit of an impression. Is this the way to go from here?" As she said this, beast-taming King Guguju laughed in surprise. "Ah, yes, yes, yes," he said repeatedly. It was really too surprising. It seemed that the beast-taming art that Luo Qingtong was cultivating was of the same origin as their beast-taming King Valley's cultivation method. The route that she had just mentioned should be the circulation route of her cultivation method. After all, the cultivation methods of the same origin would overlap with each other. Thinking this, beast-taming King Guguju's laughter became even more hearty. "Good, good, good. It's really too good." Beast-taming King Guguju had already imagined a big play in his mind. The beast-taming art that Luo Qingtong was cultivating should have been obtained from that place. After that, he was discovered and hunted down. The reason why they were saved by the beast-taming King's Valley was probably because of the beast-taming King's Valley. You want to seek refuge? Who would have thought that they would be robbed and killed before they could even reach their destination? On the other hand, Luo Qingtong was too naive. She didn't know anything, so this series of things happened. It had to be said that a person's imagination was huge. In an instant, the beast-tamer King Guguju had already rationalized everything. However, Luo Qingtong was at a loss after she pointed out his circuit. Beast-tamer King Guguju and the others frowned when they saw this. At this time, Luo Qingtong said, "Sigh, if only I could recall the scene when I saw this cultivation method." A black-clothed old man with a biting cold aura was looking down at the person kneeling on the ground in front of him. "You mean there's something wrong with that night eye?" As his voice rang out, the person kneeling on the ground instantly raised her head. It was the half-disfigured Fang Jingyu. "That's right," she shouted with a hoarse voice. "Elder Dark, you must believe my words. Right now my father and the rest have all been bewitched by that slut. Everyone is supporting her. But she's actually a wolf in sheep's clothing." Fang Jingyu's body was faintly trembling from hatred. After returning from the beast garden, her status had fallen to the bottom of the valley. Her once limitless glory had turned into a trample on by everyone. Chapter 1903. She used to be so arrogant, despotic, and dazzling. Now she was so petty and miserable. Those people who had been punished and humiliated by her because of a small mistake were all here to hit her when she was down. Fang Jingyu wanted to ask the beast tamer King Guguju for help, but the latter had almost died because of her, and because of her, he had almost offended the entire beast tamer valley's higher-ups. In addition, Luo Qingtong had the beast tamer art in her body, so how could they still care about her? Fang Jingyu had been living in hell for a few days before she realized that she had been completely abandoned. All the doting from before was fake. The moment she encountered something that would benefit her, she was abandoned without hesitation. Fang Jingyu's heart was filled with hatred. At the same time, she didn't know why she had ended up like this. Clearly, before she punished Luo Qingtong to the beast garden, she had made full preparations. The other party would definitely be miserable in the beast garden, and even if she didn't die, she would lose a layer of skin. But Fang Jingyu had never thought that the one who would end up in such a miserable state would be herself. Luo Qingtong's potential had suddenly exploded in the beast garden, and she had controlled a group of paragon-level demonic beasts. She was unharmed, but Fang Jingyu was in big trouble. Fang Jingyu saw the disgusting scene of her through the reflection of the golden bricks on the floor. Half of her face was rotten. The demonic beasts had gnawed on it until even her bones could be seen. Her entire face was full of holes, and even half of her scalp had been torn off. She wasn't a ghost now, but she was scarier than a ghost. Her hand was also crippled, and half of it had been eaten by the demonic beasts. If not for this, she wouldn't have been abandoned by the beast tamer King Guguju so easily. After all, she had lost her spiritual power and strength in the past, and she could still marry him. But what did she have now? She was just a half-disfigured good-for-nothing. But how could things be so coincidental? That slut kept saying that she didn't know that she was a beast tamer, and didn't know what kind of art she was cultivating. But she was able to control a group of paragon-level demonic beasts in the beast garden? And those demonic beasts just happened to counterattack at that time, and she just happened to faint? Fang Jingyu couldn't believe that this was just a coincidence. She only felt that this was all Luo Qingtong's scheme. Not only that, even the withering of the superior Sirius and the punishment of the young girl called Yunyan probably had something to do with Luo Qingtong. The other party had deliberately infiltrated their beast-taming king's valley. She might not even be a beast tamer, but an enemy of their beast-taming king valley. Everything was a facade that she had purposely created. Chapter 1904. This team was dedicated to guarding the Hidden Scriptures Pavilion. They never appeared in front of others, but their strength was exceptionally terrifying. Their strength was comparable to the higher-ups of the beast-taming valley. And this Dark Elder's strength and status was not below that of the beast-taming King Guguju. This was why Fang Jingyu found him and wanted him to attack Luo Qingtong. In this way, even her father, the beast-taming King Guguju, could not say anything. However, this Dark Elder's expression was indifferent. His team was only responsible for guarding the Hidden Scriptures Pavilion. Before others touched the Hidden Scriptures Pavilion or when the beast-taming valley was facing a life-and-death situation, they would not intervene. "You can go back. This matter has nothing to do with us," he said and was about to leave. "Elder," Fang Jingyu's voice was sharp and her entire face was distorted. She tried her best to stop the other party. At this moment, a dark disciple suddenly came in to report. "Elder, the Valley Master brought a young girl to request to enter the Hidden Scriptures Pavilion to observe the original beast-taming art." The moment this dark disciple spoke, Fang Jingyu's face was instantly filled with surprise. "Elder, I told you she was up to no good. Now she has her eyes on the Hidden Scriptures Pavilion. Elder, do you believe me now?" The moment Fang Jingyu's words left her mouth, the Dark Elder's face turned cold. "Invite her in," he said coldly. Outside, Luo Qingtong stood outside the Hidden Scriptures Pavilion with the beast-taming King Guguju and the others. In her arms was Yi Qianming, who had transformed into Little Silver. The latter's eyes circled around the hidden scriptures pavilion and then transmitted his voice to Luo Qingtong. There are many strong people nearby and they are not weaker than the beast-taming King Gu Guzhu and the others. Luo Qingtong nodded. Her blood-red eyes flashed slightly, and the images hidden in the surroundings that ordinary people could not see appeared in her eyes. They should be the guards of the scripture depository. The scripture depository was the most important foundation of the beast-taming King Valley, so it was normal for someone to guard it. Therefore Luo Qingtong didn't want to force her way in. Instead she prepared to enter through tricks. She wanted nothing to go wrong, so it didn't matter if she had to put in more effort. In any case, he had already spent the past few days in the beast-taming King Valley. He didn't care about a little more time. Just as the two of them were communicating telepathically, the person who had gone in to report earlier came out, saying that Elder and had invited them in. Luo Qingtong guessed that the Dark Elder should be the leader of the guards in the scripture depository. Otherwise, the beast-tamer King Gu Guzhu and the others wouldn't have come to see him. Chapter 1905. Jingyu, what are you doing now? Haven't you had enough? The beast-tamer King Gu Guzhu looked at Fang Jingyu coldly. He didn't know why she was so insensible. He told her not to deal with Luo Qingtong first, but she didn't listen. Putting aside the fact that she almost killed him and the other higher-ups of the beast-taming King Valley, she even turned herself into such a monstrous monster. What was she doing now? Dark Elder. My daughter is mischievous, vicious, and vengeful. If she says anything to you, please don't listen. She's a lunatic. The beast-tamer King Gu Guzhu said coldly. At this moment he only felt disgust for this troublesome daughter of his. He didn't love her at all. She was too good at causing trouble. She kept ruining his plans. He would rather have never given birth to this daughter. Hearing his merciless words, Fang Jingyu's face turned pale. Her hatred for Luo Qingtong deepened. Night-eye. Slut, it's you. You're the one who caused me to be betrayed by everyone. I won't let you off. I'll expose your mask. I'll expose everything about you to everyone. When the time comes, I'll make everyone apologize to me. Dark Elder, kill her. She's night. Ignoring the beast-tamer King Gu Guzhu, Fang Jingyu raised her hand and pointed at Luo Qingtong. Her face twisted with hatred. She said, I suspect that she's not a beast-tamer. She's plotting to infiltrate our beast-tamer valley and steal our secrets. Dark Elder, please investigate. If Dark Elder wanted to make a move on Luo Qingtong, he needed a legitimate reason. After all, Luo Qingtong was the business of the beast-tamer valley outside. But now the other party was in his scripture pavilion and wanted to enter to look at the original beast-tamer arts manual. In that case, he had no choice but to take action and investigate properly. Hearing Fang Jingyu's words, the expressions of the higher-ups of the beast-tamer valley changed. What was Fang Jingyu talking about? Luo Qingtong wasn't a beast-tamer? How was that possible? She could control the silver fox and even their demon beast. They saw it with their own eyes. Now she said she wasn't a beast-tamer. Did he think that they were all blind? The upper echelons of the beast-taming King Valley had a cold expression on their faces, and the beast-taming King Valley's valley master directly shouted, Nonsense! What are you talking about? Get the hell out of here and don't make a fool of yourself here. Hearing Fang Jingyu's words, Luo Qingtong raised an eyebrow. Hers is she thought she's always. So this was the reason why he suspected her? Luo Qingtong's expression was indifferent. The emotions in her eyes quickly relaxed. She didn't forget to send a message to Yi Qianming. Look at that. Chapter 1906. What do you have to say? Luo Qingtong's expression was indifferent. She calmly looked at Fang Jingyu and said, I just want to ask Miss Jingyu, how did she know that I'm not a beast-tamer? So many people in the beast-tamer valley couldn't tell, but Miss Jingyu did. I'm really very curious. Luo Qingtong's lips curved into a faint smile. When Fang Jingyu heard her calling her Miss Jingyu left and right, the expression in her eyes turned even colder and more sinister. This bitch, did she deliberately call her Miss Jingyu to despise her? Back then she was high and mighty, so she was naturally called Miss Jingyu. Now that she had fallen into the dust, this bitch still deliberately called her that. Fang Jingyu's expression was cold. She gritted her teeth and looked at Luo Qingtong. She habitually raised her head and said, Of course I saw through your flaws. Night-eye. Yun Yin said that you arrived at Wind City when we were recruiting new disciples, but you didn't register at the place where we were recruiting new disciples. Instead, you joined our beast tamer valley when you were being hunted. After that, you exploded with a powerful beast tamer talent and potential. You said that you didn't know that you were a beast tamer before. Then let me ask you, since you were already in Wind City at that time, why didn't you test your beast tamer talent? Fang Jingyu sneered at Luo Qingtong. She raised her head high, looking extremely proud. She continued, even if you weren't interested. But what about this little fox? She pointed at Yi Qianming. Since you said that you grew up with it, you treated it like family. Why didn't you test your beast tamer talent? Let it have a closer relationship with you? Luo Qingtong raised her eyebrows and looked at Fang Jingyu. So it was because of this that she doubted her? Luo Qingtong chuckled. So it's because I'm too good to you. She transmitted her voice to Yi Qianming. It seems that if there's a next time, I'll have to torture you. Before she finished speaking, Yi Qianming's gaze had already turned to her. There's a next time? It coldly snorted. This time was enough. In the future, he would never indulge her. However, Yi Qianming didn't notice how many times he had said this. In the end, she was still spoiled. This was truly a frequent face-slapping. While the human and fox were interacting, Fang Jingyu's expression was extremely ugly. Night-eye. I'm talking to you, she said coldly. She couldn't wait to tear Luo Qingtong apart. Since you're not saying anything, does that mean you're admitting it yourself? You think too much. Luo Qingtong's lazy voice sounded at this time. She kissed the little fox in her arms and patted her little paw away. She said with a calm expression, Yun Yan and I have a grudge. I was the one who exposed her collusion with the Celestial Palace. How can I believe her words? Of course, she chuckled and looked at Fang Jingyu. You can say that she was wronged just like how you said that I'm not a beast tamer. But the Valley Master and the others all know that I'm a beast tamer. You're the only one who says that I'm not. Don't you think it's ridiculous? At this moment, Luo Qingtong didn't hold back and showed her sharpness. But everyone knew that the hatred between her and Fang Jingyu had reached the point where they couldn't live. If she continued to be a yes man, it would be strange. Then do you dare to test your beast tamer talent? Chapter 1907. She firmly believed that Luo Qingtong had an ulterior motive for everything she had done. If that was the case, the other party would definitely not dare to test her beast-taming talent. Because from Fang Jingyu's point of view, the reason why Luo Qingtong pretended to be chased into beast-taming King Valley was because she had no beast-taming talent at all. She was a fake beast-taming master. If that was the case, then everything could be explained. The so-called valiant and powerful beast-taming art was actually a fake. Luo Qingtong only used a special method to cripple herself, and then let the demonic beasts in the beast garden counterattack. In order to not let others see through her, she deliberately pretended to faint. One had to say that Fang Jingyu still saw a part of the truth. However, she took the wrong path and guessed the wrong direction. The result could only be a tragedy in the end. All right. Luo Qingtong answered incomparably easily. Previously, she did not want to reveal that she had a contract and was very powerful, so she deliberately hid and entered beast-taming King Valley. Now that she had already been exposed, what was there to hide? Moreover, during this period of time in beast-taming King Valley, she already knew that the talent stone could see if a person was suitable to cultivate beast-taming arts and contract demonic beasts. Of course, those who had already contracted demonic beasts, needless to say, would definitely be revealed. But the specific level of the contract could not be seen. At most, it could see that you were very talented and very suitable. Since that was the case, then what was Luo Qingtong afraid of? If Fang Jingyu had used this to scare her, perhaps she would have been scared. As for now, Luo Qingtong smiled but did not say anything. You. Fang Jingyu looked at Luo Qingtong's incomparably calm appearance, and her heart was a little flustered. Could it be that she had guessed wrongly? Luo Qingtong was really a beast-taming master? Everything before was a coincidence, and what she thought was completely unfounded. How could it be like this? Things should not be like this. Fang Jingyu's heart was in a mess. In her view, the moment she said that Luo Qingtong was a fake beast-taming master, the other party should have been flustered. After she mentioned that she wanted to test her beast-taming talent, the other party should have been so flustered that she would kneel down and beg for mercy. But now, the one who was flustered was her. She was also the one who was about to panic. Take the talent stone. Beast Tamer King Gu Guju said coldly. Fang Jingyu ran to the Dark Elder to complain. Did she know how embarrassing it would be for her? In order to deal with Luo Qingtong, she really did everything she could to not let go of any loopholes. Since that was the case, he would fulfill her wish. Beast Tamer King Gu Guju had confidence in Luo Qingtong. Previously, the other party had intermittently demonstrated the beast-taming technique in front of them. If the other party didn't have any beast-taming talent, how could he possibly execute it? Only an idiot like Fang Jingyu, who didn't know anything, could come up with the idea that Luo Qingtong wasn't a beast-tamer. Beast-tamer King Gu Guzhu wondered if he had been possessed in the past. He actually doted on such a person so much and loved her like a jewel. She couldn't believe that she had given birth to such a fool. He had even doted on her for so many years. The beast-tamer King Gu Guzhu felt embarrassed just thinking about it. He directly asked someone to bring the talent stone. Luo Qingtong directly held the talent stone in her hand. In an instant, the talent stone blossomed with a dazzling white light. Very suitable for cultivating the beast-taming technique. The Dark Elder said at this time. He looked coldly at Fang Jingyu. What else do you have to say? Chapter 1908. The other party had come to complain to him, saying that Luo Qingtong wasn't a beast-tamer and saying that beast-tamer King Gu Guzhu and the rest were fools who had been deceived by others. It was also because he didn't act impulsively. If he had really listened to her and captured beast-tamer King Gu Guzhu when he brought Luo Qingtong here, then it would really be a joke. Not only that, the enmity between them and beast-tamer King Gu Guzhu and the rest was huge. Thinking of this, how could Elder and be nice to Fang Jingyu? Fang Jingyu's face was already ashen. She thought that she had caught Luo Qingtong's weakness, but in the end it was just a joke. This girl had the talent of beast-tamer. Didn't that mean that everything that had happened in the past was real? Her strong potential was real, and her powerful beast-tamer secret art was also real? Then what chance did she have? She would never have the chance to take revenge in this lifetime. Thinking of this, Fang Jingyu's body slid to the ground in despair, and she fainted just like that. Looking at her body on the ground, Elder An's expression still didn't improve. This time it's our fault. He looked at beast-tamer King Gu Guzhu and said, "You brought her here to observe the original beast-tamer secret art?" "Yes." Beast-tamer King Gu Guzhu nodded. "Then you can go up." Elder An flicked his sleeves and said, "Originally, it wouldn't be so easy for Luo Qingtong to enter the scripture depository. Even if beast-tamer King Gu Guzhu had enough reasons, but the scripture depository was guarded by the Dark Group, so what he said might not be final. Moreover, even if Elder An agreed, he might not let Luo Qingtong enter the 12th floor where the original beast-tamer secret art was placed. Instead, he would let someone take the secret art. But now, because of this episode caused by Fang Jingyu, Elder An had done something unreasonable, so he couldn't stop Luo Qingtong anymore. And when Luo Qingtong found out that the original beast-tamer secret art was placed on the 12th floor, the corners of her lips instantly twitched. "To be honest, I'm starting to like Fang Jingyu," she whispered to Yi Qianming. This was true love for her. Every time he caused trouble, he would be a great help to her. If it weren't for Fang Jingyu, Luo Qingtong wouldn't have been able to get close to the book so quickly. He wouldn't be able to find and enter the scripture depository so quickly. Fang Jingyu was risking her life to help her. Luo Qingtong shook her head as she recalled the scene of an elder coldly ordering people to drag Fang Jingyu away. Yi Qianming was inexplicably angry. It suddenly stood up from Luo Qingtong's arms and pounced on her with quivering ears. This woman was asking for a lesson. What did she like? Who did she like? Hey. I was wrong. Don't. Luo Qingtong was pounced on by Yi Qianming. She laughed so hard that she couldn't breathe. Wasn't she just saying it casually? Metaphor. This man's jealousy was getting bigger and bigger. Fortunately, Yi Qianming knew that this wasn't the right place. He gritted his teeth and bit Luo Qingtong for a while before letting her go. Luo Qingtong quickly hugged him and coaxed him. The two fooled around as they went up to the 12th floor of the scripture depository. This place was only one floor away from Luo Qingtong's goal, the 13th floor. It was really convenient for Luo Qingtong. After beast-tamer King Gu Guzhu and the others sent Luo Qingtong into her room, they retreated and waited outside. Chapter 1909. After they left, Luo Qingtong sized up the surrounding scene. This room seems to be used by the people of beast-taming King Valley to store secret manuals. Luo Qingtong looks at the rows of bookshelves standing against the wall, filling up the entire incomparably spacious room. In the middle of the room there is an extremely long table. The kind that can seat more than a dozen people side by side. And right in front of the table, there were 4 cultivation technique manuals that were hung up facing each other. These 4 secret manuals are the beast-taming art of beast-taming King Valley. They are of the same origin, but the effects of the manuals are not the same. The first one has the weakest effect, the second one is slightly stronger. Luo Qingtong's gaze swept over them one by one, discovering that the fourth one is the beast-taming art of beast-taming King Guguju's cultivation. Very obviously, its power and effect are stronger than the others. These 4 incantations were originally covered by a defensive barrier. Before the barrier is removed, there is no way to see the contents. But at this moment, these 4 manuals are all revealed in front of Luo Qingtong. It should be the instructions of beast-taming King Guguju and the others. These people really can't wait to get their hands on the beast-taming art that she obtained. Luo Qingtong's complexion is indifferent. She sweeps through the 4 manuals. After thinking for a bit, the blood-red light in the bottom of her eyes flickers. She makes a copy of them, imprinting them in her pupils. Although Luo Qingtong has the heaven and earth contract, she doesn't need the inhumane beast-taming art of beast-taming King Valley. But there is no right or wrong manuals in this world. There are only people who use them wrongly. Killing with a sword is not a soldier's crime. Luo Qingtong thinks for a bit, but still memorizes these 4 manuals. What if there is some suitable place in the future where she can use them? If she can't use them, it's good to use them to cheat people. Luo Qingtong thinks about it and memorizes them. However, just as she was imprinting the spell formula into her pupils one by one, she suddenly noticed that something was amiss. Suddenly, Luo Qingtong discovers a surprising point. Oh. She stared in shock as the spells in her pupils overlapped one another. Then, one dot after another flashed in front of her eyes. It was indeed one point after another. These dots were scattered messily among the 4 cultivation methods, faintly outlining an indistinct outline. However, he couldn't see clearly what it was. There seemed to be something missing. Luo Qingtong looked surprised. She looked at this unexpected gain and decided to memorize it first. She would study it after leaving this place. She memorized the 4 incantations. Then Luo Qingtong raised her eyes and glanced at the bookshelves in the room. She found that there were all kinds of precious cultivation methods, secret books, and combat skills of the Sage Realm and above, as well as all kinds of cultivation experiences. There were people from the beast-taming King's Valley as well as people from other sections. It seemed like the people of the beast-taming King's Valley had plundered these treasures over the years. These were all good things from the top sects. Of course, if it wasn't good, it wouldn't have been placed here. Luo Qingtong looked at the bookshelves in the room, and the corners of her mouth hooked up in an instant. What her subordinates lacked the most was this kind of foundation. With the various cultivation methods, secret books, and combat skills here, there were also cultivation experiences. Not to mention other things, Su Yu and the others' combat strength could be increased by at least 5 times. In the future, the bottleneck problems encountered in cultivation would also be reduced a lot. Thinking of this, Luo Qingtong directly waved her hand. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Countless books and picture books moved with the wind in an instant. They were constantly flipping in midair. The blood light in Luo Qingtong's eyes flickered, and countless characters flew and disappeared into her pupils. Chapter 1910. Yi Qianming was lying in Luo Qingtong's arms, looking at this scene with narrowed eyes. This woman's eye technique seemed to have strengthened again? After Yi Qianming knew that Luo Qingtong cultivated an eye technique, he had sent people to investigate the relevant information, but there was no result. He didn't know the origin of Luo Qingtong's eye technique. But according to this scene, it was also extraordinary. Fortunately, this woman knew how to hide her strength and bide her time. She didn't easily reveal it in front of others and was very restrained. Otherwise, who knew how much trouble it would cause? After Luo Qingtong copied all the books and picture books, she turned to look in the other direction of the room. Her eyes were like blood. In just an instant, they pierced through the ceiling and looked at the 13th floor. The entire room was like a 3D model, spinning rapidly in Luo Qingtong's eyes. She could see it clearly from all directions and angles. It was a very empty room. There was only a bookshelf in the middle of the room. But there was only one lattice inside. Luo Qingtong's eyes were fixed on that lattice. That lattice was very strange. You could see that there was a lattice on it. But when you stared at it, you would find that the lattice seemed to appear in your illusion. You couldn't see it, you couldn't touch it. It was specious. And this was in Luo Qingtong's eye technique. If it were someone else, they wouldn't even be able to see this lattice. They would only see the existence of a solid wood. Luo Qingtong looked at this strange lattice and raised her eyebrows. She knew that this was the secret lattice that the golden-winged condor had mentioned. Her eyes moved down and soon found the position of the 12th floor corresponding to the secret lattice. Swish! Luo Qingtong's figure swept over. At the same time, she raised her hands and waved fiercely. Two streams of energy shot out soundlessly, setting up a restriction array on the door of the 12th floor. The illusion formation was a type of bewildering formation. It could slightly obstruct the person who pushed the door open and entered. There was nothing wrong with letting the other party see the scene behind the door. At the same time, Luo Qingtong was also alerted. If there were no major accidents, she should be able to rush back in time and deceive them. After Luo Qingtong was done, she leaped forward. Qianming. She looked down at the silver fox in her arms and whispered, "Can I borrow your claws?" With Yi Qianming's strength, the silver fox's claws were the sharpest weapon in the world. Under such circumstances, Luo Qingtong didn't need to think of other ways to destroy it. Yi Qianming snorted and nodded. He tried his best not to make a sound. That little fox's voice was simply too intoxicating. Wait a moment. Let me find a few key points first. Luo Qingtong wanted to go from the 12th floor to the 13th floor. Chapter 1911. One had to know that although her eye technique was at its peak at that time, it was better than now. But her physical fitness and strength were far inferior to her in this strange world. Therefore, it was more difficult for her to enter Area 51 than it was for her here. But the eye technique in Luo Qingtong's eyes kept spinning. From small to big, then to the entire Hidden Scriptures Pavilion. Luo Qingtong's eyes saw through this huge Hidden Scriptures Pavilion inside and out. She carefully calculated the position of the ceiling where she was and made all kinds of gestures. Yi Qianming watched as she drew one image after another in front of him. She marked the numbers one by one and then quickly erased them. He felt that it was novel and strange. What were these things? After Luo Qingtong used various methods to calculate the space and distance, she quickly found a few points to start from. Here, Qianming. Luo Qingtong raised her hand and used her strength to accurately circle a few points in the air. Then she said to Yi Qianming, "Remove the things in this circle." Yi Qianming looked at the few points that Luo Qingtong had circled. The biggest one was not even the size of a fist. He frowned. How could this woman crawl through such a small circle? Also, why did she make so many? Luo Qingtong saw that he was sizing her up and hurriedly said, "Don't be stingy." She just happened to draw the points on the restriction array, which was the most accurate result. This man better not do bad things for her. In fact, Yi Qianming really did have that idea. But at this moment, he glanced at the girl's nervous gaze and snorted coldly. He would never admit that he almost did that. Ow. Got it? Pa pa pa. Yi Qianming's little fox cry sounded. In an instant, the things in the few points that Luo Qingtong had drawn were cleanly dug out by Yi Qianming. The wind from his claws was sharp. In the blink of an eye, it pierced through the floor between the two floors, but it retracted just as it was about to pierce through. In terms of control over power, Yi Qianming was a natural king. He was not inferior to Luo Qingtong in terms of control over eye techniques. All right. Luo Qingtong chuckled and kissed the silver fox in her arms. Then, she raised her hand and pressed down on a certain spot on the ceiling above her head. Crack. With Luo Qingtong's strength, in an instant, the ceiling area surrounded by several points is broken. Under Yi Qianming's surprised gaze, the door opened slightly, revealing a small space that was big enough for Luo Qingtong to enter alone. The small holes that Luo Qingtong had made it dig all over the place had inexplicably gathered together under Luo Qingtong's rotation, forming such a space. How did he do it? Yi Qianming was shocked. He clearly did not see Luo Qingtong use any of the erase power. And the erase power in the Hidden Scriptures Pavilion was 1. Destroying one would affect all of them. Luo Qingtong created a space as if she was performing magic. Haha. Luo Qingtong looked at the expression on Yi Qianming's cute fox face and instantly laughed. She kissed it and then carried it, jumping from the ceiling of the 12th floor to the floor of the 13th floor. Swish. Luo Qingtong's figure silently appeared in the room. Chapter 1912. It's here. Luo Qingtong's face was facing the hidden compartment. However, after Luo Qingtong jumped up, she discovered that this hidden compartment was different from what she had seen before. Or, the entire bookshelf was different from what she had seen before with her dojutsu. At this moment, the bookshelf that Luo Qingtong saw with her normal eyes was a normal bookshelf filled with grids. It was full of things. The brilliance was extraordinary and it seemed that all of them were treasures. On the contrary, the hidden compartment that Luo Qingtong had seen before was gone. Luo Qingtong looked at the bookshelf, narrowed her eyes slightly, and then activated her dojutsu again. At this moment, under her gaze, the bookshelf returned to its original state of having only one compartment. And that hidden compartment was also clearly visible. Interesting. Luo Qingtong looked at the bookshelf and laughed. She raised her eyebrows, and was already sure that this bookshelf must be an illusion treasure. So the appearance of this bookshelf was completely different in her eyes. Those dazzling things were all fake. If she really touched those things or wanted to take them away, then she would immediately trigger the array and alarm. And that hidden compartment, ordinary people couldn't see it. Interesting, the people of the beast-taming King Valley hid this so tightly? Luo Qingtong smiled and approached the hidden compartment. She didn't know what else was recorded in that booklet besides those secret things. Luo Qingtong opened the hidden compartment according to the method taught by the golden-winged condor. Originally, without the method taught by the golden-winged condor, Luo Qingtong would have needed a lot of time to open this hidden compartment. After all, she still had to crack it. This time she saved a lot of time. After the hidden compartment was opened, Luo Qingtong directly took out the booklet. The cover of the booklet was engraved with the words "Holy Booklet," and the rest was blank. Unexpectedly, there were only a few pages below it. Luo Qingtong originally thought that this booklet would record who knows how many years of the beast-taming King Valley, and that it would be very thick. She didn't expect that it was really just a booklet. Luo Qingtong's head was full of black lines. How many things could be recorded in just a few pages? Oh my, could it be that she had inquired wrongly from the beginning? Luo Qingtong felt a little regretful. However, the thing was already in her hands, it would be a waste not to look at it. Luo Qingtong was slightly depressed as she opened the booklet. When she flipped open the book, her mind shook violently. She was drawn into a mysterious space. One after another appeared in front of her eyes, like the Milky Way hanging in the sky, hanging in front of her. The rows of words seemed endless. This is... Luo Qingtong was stunned when she saw these words. It's the book space. Chapter 1913. Since Yi Qianming was here, she wouldn't use her blood eye to check. She had consumed enough today, so she would save as much as she could. If you want to check something, just call me. Yi Qianming said and called out to the space, Luo Jinghong. As his voice rang out, the words hanging in front of him like a waterfall, all spun quickly in an instant. One after another, streams of light shot up. In the next second, these streams of light flew towards Luo Qingtong and Yi Qianming. They circled around Yi Qianming and kept circling him. Above the sky, a scene suddenly appeared. A man wearing a bamboo hat and green clothes was forced to the land of the deceased immortals by a group of people from the beast-taming valley. Luo Jinghong, surrender to our beast-taming valley and hand over your beast-taming method, and we can spare your life. The elder of the beast-taming valley who was standing at the front said. Luo Qingtong glanced at him and found that she didn't know him. It was clear that this person was either unlucky enough to die, or he was in seclusion in beast-taming King's Valley and became a grand elder. Luo Qingtong glanced at the group of people who were chasing Luo Jinghong and found that the beast-taming King Gu Guzhu and several other elders she had seen before were among them. They were following behind the elders to besiege Luo Jinghong. Luo Qingtong's eyes were slightly cold, and then she turned her gaze to Luo Jinghong in front of her. It was really beyond her expectations to be able to turn books into paintings in this book space. She stared at Luo Jinghong. When he was forced to fly into the land of the deceased immortals, she immediately saw the face hidden under his bamboo hat. Handsome and cold, with sword-like eyebrows. Bastards of the beast-taming valley. If I can come back alive in the future, I will kill all of you. The bamboo hat on Luo Jinghong's head flew up and was split in half in an instant. Then his figure flew into the land of the deceased immortals. Come back alive? Just wait to die in there. Luo Qingtong heard the elder leading the team to chase Luo Jinghong say coldly. After that, the beast-taming King's Valley's men stayed there for 7 days before they all retreated. So it was done by the beast-taming King's Valley. Luo Qingtong's voice was cold. She had indeed found the right enemy. But Luo Jinghong's life and death. Luo Qingtong frowned. If Luo Jinghong really died, Grandpa and Grandma would be heartbroken. She furrowed her brows and memorized the location of the fallen immortal land. I'll look for it when it's time to enter. No matter what, she would not jump to conclusions without seeing the corpse. As for his grandparents, it was better not to tell them for the time being. It was better for them to think that Luo Jinghong was missing than to worry about whether he was dead or alive. As for the people from beast-taming King's Valley, Luo Qingtong sneered as she recalled the last words of the beast-taming King Valley elder to Luo Jinghong. Don't worry, she will do what her father can't do. Sooner or later, she will destroy the beast-taming King's Valley. Luo Qingtong snorted coldly and was about to call Yi Qianming to leave this book space together. But then she remembered something. When she was in the room on the 12th floor, she found something strange in the 4 beast-taming King's Valley incantations. Why not take the opportunity in this book space today to find out the secret? Chapter 1914. Luo Qingtong thought about it and immediately turned her head. Like Yi Qianming, she shouted at the hanging handwriting, "Beast-taming art." She silently chanted in her heart to investigate. Soon a stream of light flew over. Then a scene appeared beside Luo Qingtong. In a desolate land shrouded in black fog, a man carefully entered a cave in a valley. After an unknown period of time, he suddenly dashed out of the cave with his arms and legs flailing about. Ah! Beast-taming art. I can tame beasts. Ah! In this world no one can stop my rise. Then that man controlled the demonic beast to run rampant in the hidden world, opening the door and establishing a sect. The name of beast-taming King Valley quickly spread. Luo Qingtong narrowed her eyes. So the beast-taming art of beast-taming King Valley was obtained in the fallen immortal land? While she was thinking, she saw another disciple of beast-taming King Valley enter the cave in the valley. This time he returned empty-handed. But in the next scene, another disciple of beast-taming King Valley took out a beast-taming art and ran out. Luo Qingtong's eyes flashed. The 4 beast-taming art of beast-taming King Valley were all obtained from this cave in the valley? Luo Qingtong was thinking. Sure enough, every time the people of beast-taming King Valley entered the hidden world, they would go to that valley. The most recent time was last year. But after obtaining the 4 beast-taming art, they didn't get anything else. The people of beast-taming King Valley were so persistent. Could it be that there was something in the valley? As Luo Qingtong thought about it, she memorized the terrain of the cave. When she entered the fallen immortal land, she also wanted to go in and take a look. She wanted to see what the people of beast-taming King Valley couldn't forget. While Luo Qingtong was memorizing the terrain, in the corridor of the room on the 12th floor, beast-taming King Guguju suddenly remembered something. This time something happened in the beast garden. I will record this matter in the holy book. I'll go and register first. You guys continue to guard night eye here. All right. The upper echelons of the beast-taming King's Valley responded. What happened in the beast garden was indeed a big deal. None of them had ever seen such a collective backlash from their contracted beasts. In particular, the ones who suffered the backlash were all the contract beasts of these high-level elders. This incident should indeed be recorded in the Saint Book. After the beast-tamer King Guguju finished his instructions, he turned around and went up the stairs to the 13th floor. After Luo Qingtong memorized the beast-taming art of beast-taming King Valley, she took the opportunity to investigate the various major events in the hidden world as well as the situation in beast-taming King Valley. She directly called the year. Chapter 1915. Suddenly Yi Qianming's eyes narrowed. Someone is coming? Yi Qianming's consciousness was not as sensitive as usual in this book space. But with his powerful spiritual sense, he still sensed it when beast-tamer King Guguju approached the door. Let's go. Yi Qianren abruptly pulled Luo Qingtong and the two of them disappeared from the book space. Crack. When Luo Qingtong and Yi Qianming's consciousness returned to their bodies, the sound of the door opening could be heard. Luo Qingtong's eyes narrowed slightly. She raised her hand and put the book back to its original position. Then she restored everything to its original state. Her movements were extremely fast. With the support of Blood Eye, she completed all this in an instant. Then she carried Silver Bow and jumped into the floor space that she opened before. When Luo Qingtong opened the floor space, she had already considered the possibility that someone might suddenly come in. Therefore, the floor space was arranged behind the bookshelf. It was blocked by the bookshelf. People outside would not be able to see this hole after coming in. They had to get closer. And this little bit of time was enough for Luo Qingtong to restore the floor space. Swish. Luo Qingtong's figure swept into the floor space. At the same time, beast-tamer King Guguju's figure also appeared in the room. His expression narrowed. Beast-tamer King Guguju had a very strange feeling. It seemed that someone had been in this room before him. But when he glanced at the decorations and arrays around him, he did not think too much about it. He walked straight to the bookshelf in the middle of the room. And after Luo Qingtong swept into the floor space, she also prepared to restore the space. But just as she was about to move, a small paw pressed on the floor area of the space faster than her, and then copied her previous actions and rotated the floor area. The movement was very accurate. The position was also very accurate. The direction and angle of the rotation were also not much different from her previous movements. But, the restoration of space had to be done in reverse. What a scam. Luo Qingtong stared blankly as Yi Qianxin's little paw completely turned the floor around. Rumble. As Yi Qianxin's claws pressed against the floor space, it rotated. In an instant, the floor space above Luo Qingtong's head fell down. If it was rotated in the wrong direction, it would not be restored but dismantled. Luo Qingtong didn't even have time to save him. She watched as the space floorboard fell to the ground with a loud boom. Yi Qianxin's pair of adorable foxy eyes met hers, as if he had no idea what was going on. The confusion in his eyes were very obvious. He was obviously asking Luo Qingtong, "What's going on?" He clearly followed Luo Qingtong's movements. But Luo Qingtong found it difficult to answer him. How was she going to explain to him the science of space folding in the 24th century? Luo Qingtong felt her balls hurt. Not only her balls hurt, but also her stomach, chest and stomach hurt. Let's run first. The corner of her lips twitched as she decisively carried Yi Qianren and rushed out. Boom. Chapter 1916. It was the beast tamer King Guguju who heard the commotion and immediately rushed over. His figure flashed and in an instant he passed through the space that Luo Qingtong dug out and appeared in the room on the 12th floor. "Night Eye, it's you?" His face was filled with shock and anger. The higher-ups of the Beast Tamer Valley who were waiting outside also heard the commotion and rushed in. What's going on? They looked at the scene in the room with shock. There was a big hole in the ceiling. The Beast Tamer King Guguju, who was supposed to be recording things on the 13th floor, appeared on the 12th floor. What's going on? They looked at the Beast Tamer King Guguju. The latter looked at Luo Qingtong, who was holding the little fox, with shock and anger. "Night Eye, why did you sneak into the forbidden area on the 13th floor? What's your purpose for sneaking into our Beast Tamer Valley?" The Beast Tamer King Guguju was not stupid. The moment he saw Luo Qingtong, he understood everything. Luo Qingtong entered the Beast Tamer Valley for another purpose. She deliberately snuck into their Beast Tamer Valley. She was hunted down and exposed her powerful Beast Tamer spell. She even lured them to the Scripture Pavilion step by step. She had other motives. Jingyu had been right all along. His face was filled with shock and anger. The upper echelons of the Beast Taming King's Valley were shocked as well. Luo Qingtong actually snuck into the 13th floor. She came here to enter the forbidden area on the 13th floor. "Night Eye, what are you trying to do? What's your purpose for sneaking into our Beast Tamer Valley?" The crowd scolded her harshly. The crowd was agitated. Their faces were ugly. The higher-ups of a first-rate sect, the absolute powerhouses, were deceived by a little girl. They even saw her as the future hope of their sect. The higher-ups of the Beast Tamer Valley instantly felt like they were cursed. They looked at Luo Qingtong angrily. The ferocious look on his face was as if he wanted to tear her apart alive. Luo Qingtong looked at them and chuckled. Since she had already been exposed, there was no need for her to hide her aura any longer. The girl's expression was indifferent. The smile on his lips was like the blooming of a devil's snare flower in the deepest purgatory. It was full of evil, wild, and enchanting, like a demon and a poison. At this moment, Luo Qingtong's face was disguised, but it didn't affect the aura around her. "Indeed, as you can see, I'm here for the things on the 13th floor. As for why I'm here, don't you already know?" Her expression was indifferent, and her smile was enchanting. The corners of his lips curled up slightly. "Holy Book." Her red lips parted slightly as she spat out these two words. In an instant, the Beast Tamer King Guguju and the rest of the upper echelons of the Beast Tamer King Valley paled. "Holy Book." Chapter 1917. "There's no need to talk so much with her." Elder An's voice was cold. "If we kill her, no one will know about the Saint Book." He looked at Luo Qingtong's direction with murderous intent surging in his eyes. She actually entered the 13th floor under his nose and peeked at the contents of the Holy Book. She must die. At this moment, Elder An's heart was filled with anger. They had been guarding this place for a long time and had never made a mistake. But now, someone had peeked at the Holy Book in his hands. This was a disgrace that must be washed away. After his voice sounded, Beast Tamer King Guguju and the others nodded with a solemn face. "That's right, Luo Qingtong must die. And before she dies, They will make her explain what the beast-taming art in her body is and whether it's real or fake. Do it. Their voices were cold. Don't kill her first. We still need to find out the secret in her body. Beast Tamer King Guguju and the others waved their hands. In an instant, the group of Beast Tamer Valley disciples rushed towards Luo Qingtong. Boom boom boom. The group's aura was biting cold and their aura was unstoppable, constantly cutting the surrounding air. Beast Tamer King Guguju and the others watched from the side with a solemn face. They raised their hands and released their aura, enveloping the many bookshelves and books in the 12th floor. There were also 4 beast-taming arts hanging in front of the room, so that these things wouldn't be damaged in the battle. Thinking that Luo Qingtong had seen all these things and that they had personally led her up, Beast Tamer King Guguju and the others felt a burst of anger in their hearts. Their gaze towards Luo Qingtong became even colder and more murderous. This bitch, when I catch her, I will let her know the price of deceiving us. Beast Tamer King Guguju suppressed the anger in his heart and coldly looked at Luo Qingtong's figure floating in the air. The other party dared to treat them like fools. The Beast Tamer King Guguju's expression was extremely solemn. On the other hand, Luo Qingtong watched as the beast-taming King's Valley's disciples surrounded her. She raised an eyebrow and stood there motionlessly. Boom. Just as those people's attacks were about to hit her and trap her in the net, Luo Qingtong's body suddenly emitted rays of silver light. In her arms, Yi Qianxian was completely enveloped in a ball of silver light. Then, the ball of silver light continued to expand until it enveloped her entire body. In the next second, the silver light shattered. Bang! Yi Qianxian appeared beside Luo Qingtong with a wave of his sleeve. Boom! The attacks that were aimed at her and tried to envelop her were all shattered by the man's sleeves. Countless energy shockwaves shot out from the collision. The disciples of the beast-taming King's Valley who had launched their attacks were instantly sent flying back with miserable shrieks. Bang! 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 Their figures fiercely smashed onto the floor. Some people directly flew out of the scripture pavilion. Some people even fell from the 12th floor to the 11th or even the 10th floor. What? Chapter 1918. They didn't think that Yi Qianxian was actually the Silver Fox. They thought that he had been hiding in beast-taming King Valley for a long time, hiding beside Luo Qingtong and following them into the scripture pavilion. Damn it. We've really let the wolf into our house. Elder Dark's expression was unusually solemn. His expression was extremely ugly. The other party had snuck into the secret place without them noticing. If it wasn't for the fact that Luo Qingtong had snuck into the 13th floor and was discovered, would the other party have been hiding in the beast-taming King's Valley the entire time? Would the beast-taming King's Valley have been wiped out without them knowing? Thinking of this, everyone in beast-taming King Valley shuddered. They looked at Luo Qingtong and Yi Qianxian with murderous intent. Let's attack together, don't hold back. Elder Dark's voice was cold. The other party has peeked at the Saint Book and snuck into the secret place. I'm sure they want to harm our beast-taming King Valley. If we hold back now, there will be endless trouble in the future. We must kill them all here. As he spoke, the cold light in his eyes intensified and became extremely cold. Beast-taming King Guguju and the others heard this. Although they were very unwilling, they knew that this was the best way. They couldn't put the entire beast-taming King Valley in danger just for the beast-taming technique in Luo Qingtong's body. Not to mention other things, just Yi Qianxian's strength was enough to make them feel a strong sense of danger. Bang! Everyone attacked at the same time, attacking Yi Qianxian. The man's eyes were heavy and his expression was cold. His wide black robe fluttered in the air as he raised his hand to protect Luo Qingtong in his arms. Then he shook his sleeves and in an instant, the aura around him exploded. He charged towards beast-taming King Guguju and the others and clashed fiercely. Yi Qianxian's aura was strong and his aura was biting cold. With a wave of his sleeve and a raise of his hand, he blocked the attacks of beast-taming King Guguju and the others. Beast-taming King Guguju and the others had the advantage in numbers. The entire beast-taming King Valley's top experts were here. Otherwise, if they were alone, they would have been killed by Yi Qianxian. Bang! Elder Dark's palm was pushed back by Yi Qianxian's palm. He spat a mouthful of blood and looked at Yi Qianxian's direction with a ruthless and cold expression. Force him out. They weren't his opponent. Elder Dark had to admit this point. Damn it. Where did the other party come from? How's his strength so? Elder's face. The beast-taming King Valley's Valley Master and the others didn't look any better. When they attacked just now, they thought that with their lineup and strength, it would be easy to deal with Yi Qianxian. But who would have thought that the opponent's strength was so strong that it exceeded their expectations? There were so many of them, but they couldn't do anything to him. Although they were beast-taming masters, they weren't pure cultivators. Their strength was slightly weaker than cultivators of the same level. But with his cultivation, how bad could it be? In the end, they couldn't do anything to him. If it weren't for the fact that they had so many people, there would have been casualties. Their faces were solemn. When they heard Elder An's words, they immediately flew out and charged into Yi Qianren's arms. Chapter 1919. The girl was tightly protected by Yi Qianxian and wasn't the least bit disturbed by the attacks outside. Seeing the beast tamer King Gu Guzhu and the others attacking Luo Qingtong, Yi Qianxian's eyes turned cold as he waved his sleeves to block their attacks. However, at that moment, he was knocked flying by the enormous power that they had gathered. Whoosh! The man's body deflected the force, and in an instant, he glided backward gracefully like a butterfly. Boom! Yi Qianxian appeared outside the scripture pavilion. At this moment, the Dark Elder yelled out, "Activate the protective formation. Summon your contracted beast." As soon as his voice rang out, the beast-taming King's Valley's Dark Department that was in charge of guarding the scripture depository immediately moved. The scripture pavilion shone brightly. In an instant, the protective formation of the entire beast-tamer valley was activated. The protective formation of the scripture pavilion could be activated in an instant. Rays of light shone brightly in the sky. Streams of tyrannical and terrifying power gathered above the formation. It emitted an extremely powerful aura. The aura condensed within it was as heavy as water, with the momentum of wind and rain, and the ability to suppress the clouds. Boom, boom, boom. In the sky, countless lightning bolts and fiery colors gathered. Long dragons burst forth and swam in all directions. At the Dark Elder's command, the beast-tamer King Gu Guzhu and the others immediately summoned their contracted beasts. The formation in the Beast Garden sensed the summons of the Beast-Tamer Valley members and immediately opened its fences and barriers. The Saint Venerables in the top-grade Beast Garden were all controlled by the Beast-Tamer King Gu Guzhu and the others, and they flew out of the Beast Garden. After sensing the control of the Beast-Tamer King Gu Guzhu, the golden-winged eagle struggled for a moment before its eyes were completely covered by the color of blood. Boom! The feathers on its body unfurled as it flapped its wings. In the blink of an eye, it was already flying towards the secret grounds behind the beast-taming King's Valley. A group of holy venerate demonic beasts followed behind it. Like the golden-winged eagle, they struggled for a moment before being controlled by their respective beast-tamers and flew toward the secret area. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Everyone in the beast-taming King's Valley didn't know what was going on as they watched the shocking scene unfold before them. Quick! Heavens! The elders and valley masters' contracted beasts are all moving out. Oh my God! What's going on? Is someone attacking our Beast-Tamer Valley? The Beast-Tamer Valley's disciples were shocked. All the disciples in the Beast-Taming King's Valley were dumbstruck by this scene. Oh my God! They've never seen anything like this before. All the elders of the Beast-Taming King Valley and even the Valley Lord's contracted beast were mobilized. Didn't that mean that the person they were fighting was so strong that the Valley Master and the others couldn't beat him, so they had to call for reinforcements? Everyone watched in shock as the contracted beasts flew toward the secret area behind the Beast-Tamer Valley. They didn't know what was going on. In the scripture pavilion, Fang Jingyu also felt the changes outside. She was currently locked up in the Dark Department's prison cell. Chapter 1920. Between heaven and earth, a man as handsome as a god stood in the air. His aura surged like a dragon, tyrannical and wanton. His long hair fluttered in the wind, and his sleeves fluttered, but he was carefully protecting a young girl in his arms. Her father joined forces with a group of beast-taming King Valley's high-level elders and the elders of the Dark Department, but they couldn't do anything to him. Fang Jingyu's face was filled with astonishment. She looked at the man in the sky, wondering when such an outstanding man had appeared in the hidden world. And she didn't seem to have heard of him at all. She didn't even look at him. Fang Jingyu stared infatuatedly at Yi Qianxian's perfect, handsome face. It was as cold and dignified as an evildoer's, cold and icy face. Especially when he lowered his head to look at the young girl in his arms, Fang Jingyu's heart was filled with jealousy. What kind of person could receive his care and affection? So careful and so affectionate? She looked enviously at the young girl in his arms. When she saw the other's face clearly, Fang Jingyu's fingernails dug into her palms. She didn't even feel the blood dripping from her palms. It's actually her? She couldn't restrain herself from shrieking. She couldn't control the hatred and anger in her heart. How could it be her? How could it be her? If it weren't for the fact that she couldn't get out of the prison cell, Fang Jingyu would have rushed out immediately. She couldn't believe her eyes at all. That young girl in the arms of that godlike man, who was carefully protecting her, was actually the person she hated the most. Night Eye. She screamed sharply. She didn't know why all the good things fell on the other party. She was harmed by the other party, but the other party was carefully protected in the arms of that indescribably handsome man. Fang Jingyu's face twisted. However, she quickly came to her senses. Wasn't Luo Qingtong highly valued by her father and the others? For the sake of the secret art on her, they almost didn't even want their own daughter. But now they wanted to surround and kill her? Fang Jingyu became happy as she thought about it. She looked at the light of the great mountain protection array that was gathering above Yi Qianren's head. In the beast-taming King Valley, the 108 defensive formations were connected to one another, resonating with one another. When all of them were stacked together, their power was astonishing. Furthermore, breaking one Dao was not enough to break the formation. They had to break through all 108 formations before they could break through the entire mountain-protecting grand array. This black-robed man's strength was tyrannical, and presumably, he would not be harmed by this mountain-protecting grand array. But Luo Qingtong might not be the same. What's more, her father and his men were there to support her. How could Luo Qingtong not die? Thinking of this, Fang Jingyu suddenly laughed sharply. "Ha, Night Eye, to think you'd have such a day. I'll watch you die." She looked excitedly at the scene in the sky outside. At this moment, the group of demonic beasts that flew over from the beast garden also arrived. Boom, boom, boom. The group of paragon demonic beasts' strength was shocking. Under the control of the beast-taming King Guguju and the other beast-taming masters, they could unleash even more strength. After all, to the beast-taming King Guguju and the others, the golden-winged condors and the rest were just tools. And tools did not fear death. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.